Hello, everybody. This is the psychology of aging. So, first off, I want to start off a little bit about myself. My name is Kendall Kelly, and I am a senior. I am going into my senior year at Boise State, and I am earning my degree in psychology. The reason I'm so interested in psychology is because I was really interested in learning about the brain overall, but I was also noticing how people in my life had been struggling with their mental health, and the aspects of psychology really drew my attention, and it's something that affected me and the people around me. So I wanted to go into a field that really drew my interest and was letting me work with people. But specifically today, I want to talk about the psychology of aging, which is a very often under-discussed and under-researched topic in psychology. And the subject affects everybody because we all go through aging at some point in our life, and it shapes who we'll become. So, what is the psychology of aging exactly? Everybody around us can say, well, everybody ages at some point. Every single span in our life has a certain aspect of psychology behind it. Psychology of aging is the study of how people transform or stay the same as they start to get older in their lives. This includes how our bodies transform, how our minds change, and how our emotions and relationships change throughout the aging process, such as things such as our social aspects, our relationships with other people, our relationships with ourselves, our relationships with our bodies, and how this can all change. Although aging seems scary, to a lot of people, it's not always a downhill slope for everybody. Much of what we characterize as normal aging really is resilient wisdom and development. The psychology of aging is a field that looks at what helps people thrive in later life mentally, socially, emotionally, and physically. Gaining a better understanding of an aging population allows all of us to better recognize how we can support people going through the aging process and how we can lead to better conclusions and how we can lead to better support and better connections. Biological changes in aging. One of the things that we recognize the most is the physical changes in aging and how those physical changes can really change us as people and they can change our mindsets. From the very beginning of birth to the end of life, humans have been experienced many changes as they got older. In particular, one of the most prominent changes humans will experience is their body from youth. Some of the most common things can be looked at as the fact that our hair thins. Our hair thins very commonly when we age. Balding starts to happen, wrinkling starts to happen, and overall looks can change, which can change a lot for somebody's mind. There are many systems in the body that allow for life and work in very different ways. Over time, these systems start to change, such as cardiovascular systems change and weaken. These systems starts to where with aging, with an aging heart may start to stiffen or work harder to get the blood flowing in the muscular system. Older adults can also lose bone density or bone marrow or have a risk of osteoporosis. Age decreases also the immune system, which can make us more susceptible to sickness. Adults may begin to experience vision and hearing loss, which can also change a lot. And one of the biggest things we see is how older people start to have problems with their hearing and their vision. Biological changes are normal in human development, but may look different for every individual going through the aging process. Cognitive changes as we age. Another thing that is commonly discussed with this topic is how as we become older adults, our cognitive mind starts to change so much. Discussed previously was how the body changes from a biological and physical stance, but one of the most common forms that will occur with aging is the brain changes. Cognitive decline is one of the functions that can be very drastic and hard for those experienced it and hard for the loved ones experiencing it around them. An example would be a grandparent having a lot of problems with their memory and not fully remembering you or your loved ones and having to cope with just being okay with this and understanding this. As people age, they may begin to experience memory loss and can be accompanied by disease like Alzheimer's dementia, but does not always occur for every single person. They may also experience difficulty recalling certain words and processing things slower. There are two distinctions in cognitive functioning, such as crystallized intelligence, which includes general knowledge, vocabulary, and one's life experience, whereas fluid intelligence is the problem solving and taking in new information that we receive. Crystallized intelligence is usually intact and more stable, whereas fluid intelligence is much quicker to decline with age. Despite the changes occurring in the brain, it will forever remain able to create new neural connections, which is why taking care of our brains and understanding what changes occur as we age and not just when we get to that older age, but how we can grow into those steps of understanding how we can prevent things or how we can keep our brain at a healthier side of life. It can really change development and change things such as Alzheimer's. Next is the social and emotional changes we go through. As we get older, friendships having a purpose in life and having some social structure can be essential to the happiness of older adults. We start to see a lot that as we get older, social isolation starts to come a lot, and so do emotional changes, which can really change the brain for older adults. Friends can offer emotional support and help us stay active and connected. Purpose, like having goals or feeling needed, has been linked to having better and longer lifespan in the older age. We lean on people a lot in life, even if it does not always feel right, but we do lean on other people and we find people that have common ground with us. It helps us. When we grow older, we are going through some of the most physical and mentally draining parts of our lives. Something that comes with old age is also grief, which can change a person completely because we are starting to experience the loss of spouses or loved ones due to old age or due to health reasons. And having connections outside of this can help have someone to lean on and not feel so alone. Next is what is successful aging and how can it be different for everybody? So one of the topics that we talked about a lot and I hadn't talked about a lot before this was how successful aging looks and how it looks differently for everybody. Some can find that successful aging means that staying mentally happy and surrounded by others, or some people view successful aging as staying in good physical health. Successful aging is not about avoiding wrinkles and it's not about pretending we're young forever, although some people might feel that pretending they are young forever helps them. But reviewing an article by Estevari, successful aging is described as a diverse concept that includes cognitive functioning, personal perception, a sense of control, and overall happiness and ethical values in our life. The authors emphasize that successful aging also involves inner feelings of happiness and contentment with one's present life and past experiences in life. In some definitions, simply surviving into old age with good physical health is also considered a form of successful aging, but that might not be enough for everybody. Something to always remember is that everyone is different, therefore, everyone's aging and successful aging will look different. My definition of successful aging, although very correct in my brain, focused more on the mental aspects, not so much the physical aspects, but the physical aspects are very important. But we have also not all experienced the same things, so our health looks very differently. Successful aging is a huge topic within the aging community and for people outside, and these conversations can spark how we can successfully age in many different ways and how all of us can understand these aspects and support each other. The last thing is how we can become comfortable with aging and what it means to me. Aging is incredibly scary, and we all know that. We don't want to grow old. We don't want to think about the aspects of dying or losing people. And we also we don't want to think about the changes that our bodies go through and how it can slow down. Cognitive issues and diseases are also significantly huge factors in aging, and certain people who have experienced in their life have more of a fear of that, like diseases such as Alzheimer's or dementias, which is something I went through at a very young age, was watching somebody struggle with Alzheimer's very, very rapidly and very difficult, like had a very difficult time with it. And so that's made me more scared of Alzheimer's in the future. But even with these like worries and scariness of it, all of it, although these factors should always be considered and taken into account, it's also crucial to understand that our lives do not stop as we get older, and we can grow from it and we can be healthy and make our old age as positive as we possibly can. We still have the ability to learn and grow and create meaning meaning at any stage of our life and create meaningful memories with other people. Many older adults continue to build relationships, discover new interests, and even develop stronger emotional intelligence with time. It's not just about avoiding illness, but it's also about staying happy and understanding ourselves. The psychology of aging and research along with this can teach us so much about ourselves and much about the health and happiness into older age. It can also help us beat down stigmas that are surrounding older age, and we can understand those notions better and support people in the older age instead of beating them down and making them feel like they're not useful anymore in our society. That was my presentation for everybody on the psychology of aging. I hope you enjoyed it. Here are some of my references. Thank you.